Will begin at this time.
So, GP. Good afternoon, all.
Coach Sal, when can you watch a ball?
Questions? No, just go ahead, Tom. I'm messing with you.
When can you watch a game last night's Iowa-Baylor game as a coach, probably taking notes, and then all of a sudden watching as a fan? Didn't you really?
Didn't watch one play last night, so I watched Duke and Virginia Tech, and there was one other game on. A little bit of, and I can't even remember which game it was, but I didn't watch, because if I watch it, I'd be, nervous and all that stuff. So I didn't watch one play. So, and I don't know that, I think Curtis watched it, and I think Jarence and Norm may have watched. Jarence didn't watch it. Maybe Norm did. I don't know, but didn't even watch the game. So.
What did you think when you heard the final result?
Well, I followed the score. It was, if I'm not mistaken, Iowa State was playing very well and got up 8 or 10, and then based on what I was told, then Baylor went on a run and made like 5 threes in a row or something like that. So. Two good teams playing. Of course, we know how good Baylor is because they gave us all we wanted twice, and Iowa State's as talented as anybody, and so it doesn't matter unless we take care of business ourselves moving forward. But I'd be lying if I didn't say that last night I was definitely a Baylor Bear fan.
Your guys after Monday, I'm guessing they were a little down or frustrated or whatever the word is, but a result like last night, do you think that maybe gives you a little bit of energy?
I think so. I think, our league is, it's hard. I mean, you really look at it. I mean, you've got 4 teams going into the last 8 days of the season that can all win the league. I mean, if West Virginia wins out, they win the league. If Oklahoma wins out, they win the league. Iowa State would be the only team that potentially wouldn't win the out, but that would mean we'd have to run the table. So yeah, it's pretty high drama, and certainly it's a great league. It's a great league, and you go look at. I could be wrong on this, but somebody can correct me. But the most wins any team has on the road is 4, if I'm not mistaken. And so it's I think that West Virginia has 4 and we have 4. Maybe OU has 4, but it's a tough league, and certainly deserves to come down to the wire based on how tough it's been all year long.
You talked about Jarence. Is he officially back?
Yeah, Jarence is back. Yeah.
Coach, the last couple of years, you had kind of that obvious go-to guy the whole year with Andrew Wiggins and Ben McLemore. How much has Perry turned into that guy here the last week and a half?
Yeah, I think Perry's been. Yeah, it's probably been longer than a week and a half even, but he's played really well. I said I think a couple of weeks ago that he's probably playing as close to his ceiling as he has since he's been here, and I think he's playing a lot better now. I think he's playing a lot better now than what he even was a couple of weeks ago. So he's. I don't know what he's averaging in the last 5 or 6 games, but it's got to be close to 20. And he's rebounding the ball, and he's playing tougher and physical, and really pleased with him. He's on a serious uptick right now.
Well, after the game on Monday, some of your guys talked about kind of finding yourselves or kind of finding something that works on offense. What was kind of the last couple of days? How do you go about that?
Well, we didn't practice on Tuesday, obviously. So we practiced yesterday, and we didn't practice Tuesday because that we get mandatory day off. So we practiced yesterday, but the thing about it is we didn't. When you don't shoot the ball well, you got to be able to get to the free throw line or throw the ball inside, and at least get fouled, be a threat to score. And we actually did a pretty good job. K-State's a good defensive basketball team, so we actually, for 31, 32 minutes, we actually did a pretty nice job offensively. And then I think we made 2 field goals the last 13 attempts or 12 attempts, something like that, and they kind of locked us up, and we didn't do a good job on the other end. But our spacing was bad late. Our screening's been poor the whole year, but our screening wasn't very good, and we need to, we've said it many times, but Perry has been our only offensive threat inside, and it would be nice to be able to, if you're going to play a big with Perry, obviously it's more of a crowded house for Perry because you don't have to guard the big away from the basket. So it'd be nice to be able to throw the ball to the big and have him get fouled or score, because he's going to be isolated down there by himself more than Perry would ever get an opportunity to, because the other big would be in his way, kind of. So we got to I still think that we got good enough players to still deliver and in that 5 spot, but the big thing is, Frank's got to get to the paint. Our guards have to drive to pass. There was a lot of things that we didn't do very well down the stretch, but there were a lot of things that we did do pretty well till the last 9 minutes or so.
A game like K-State, especially with some extra pieces to it, how much do you visit that with the players, or is it a game where you kind of dump it and move on to Texas?
Extra pieces, what do you mean?
After
I hadn't mentioned it to our players after the court deal. I was really proud of Jamari. I thought he handled it, better than most would. But we haven't talked about that one time since the game was over. I think in the locker room afterwards, I said, we let that happen, but I'm not going to address that with the players. I thought our guys handled it well, but that's the end of the discussion. That's on somebody else to handle it, not for us to keep talking about it. We've had enough talk about it. We need to move on, and to me, when you keep talking about that, you sound like a little whiny brat. I mean, it happened. Can't change that it happened, but if we'd have played better and not allowed it to happen, then it would have never. I mean, if we'd have played better, it would have never occurred. So that's kind of how I look at it, more so than the other way.
It seems like Miles Turner has turned the corner, maybe.
Yeah, he's playing great. Yeah.
How much tough is that right there?
Texas is. They're a team that's a lot like us in that when they play well, they're terrific, and when they don't play well, they take a step back, a noticeable step back, which obviously we do the same thing. So. They've been a little bit inconsistent, as we have as well. But when he's playing well, which he is right now, I mean, I think he went through a stretch where over a 3 or 4 game period, he's averaging like, I could be off a little bit, but 19, 10, and 5, something like that. And he's playing a lot of minutes, but he's not playing 35 minutes either. I mean, he's getting the most out of his minutes, and he's playing closer to the basket than what he was maybe the first time we played him, and he's hard to guard in there because he gets his shot off so quick. It's too quick that you could trap it. So, he's playing well, and they still have as an imposing a team or front line as anybody in America, with maybe the exception of Kentucky, and so. I like their team, and they need to play well down the stretch. Obviously, that's not me saying anything other than the obvious, but they're so capable of beating anybody.
What does Cliff need to do to take the next step and produce for the team?
The other day he really didn't get a big chance to play because of quick fouls. I'm not saying I'm not even remotely hinting that we're going to change starting lineups, because I'm not feeling that at all. But he was certainly probably more effective coming off the bench than what he has been as a starter, because get a quick foul or two and it totally take aggression away. But the other day, the fouls were. they were unlucky fouls. They weren't like him making bad plays. They were unlucky fouls, but I think keeping him out of foul trouble where he can play with the more of a reckless abandon would probably be something that'd help him a lot.
It looked like they double teamed Perry pretty much the last 10 minutes or whatever. Is that why that 5 spot's important?
Yeah, you know what they did. They double teamed Perry. They started out and did that, and without question, we were able to still get the ball to him through pretty good ball movement, and then there down the stretch when it became a grinded out slugfest type game, it was pretty much a crowded house in there whenever he tried to catch it on the post, and we've got to do some things to get him to the post without him starting on the post, and we've been pretty good at that for the most part all year long, but certainly hopefully we can do some things to help him a little bit more.
Bill, can you just kind of comment on the spotlight there's going to be on the state with double game day on Saturday?
Yeah, I think I don't know what time the Wichita State Northern 1 o'clock, and what a game that'll be. I mean, that's 2 terrific teams playing, and I don't know when the last time I could be off a little bit, but when the last time the Valley had, if I'm not mistaken, 2 teams that could potentially be in the top 10 playing for the highest of stakes the last game of the season. Isn't that the last game of the season? I mean, so that'll be as big a conference game as the Valley has seen. Who knows? In maybe decades. I don't know. You got 2 top 10 teams playing, and the winner take all. So that place will be jumping. So that'll be great for game day to be there, and then. You would think that our situation would be pretty festive as well with the things that we have in front of us that could potentially take place if we play well. So it'll be great for our state, and our Big 12 has brought a lot of recognition to. Our 12 has brought a lot of positive recognition to our league, obviously nationally, but this will be a chance to bring it to our state. And which I think will be a big bonus for not only for our program but obviously for Wichita State's as well.
You mentioned how this place can be a little bit festive on Saturday with the heritage throwback uniforms. Texas kind of had an atmosphere when you guys went down there to play. What kind of things are the players looking out for, like wearing those throwback jerseys?
I don't even know if our players know that they're wearing throwback jerseys. You guys, some of the stuff that you guys think of and talk about it didn't even register with me. I know we're wearing some commemorative uniform based on it being the 60th year anniversary of our building, and I said, well, if it's a 60th year anniversary, why aren't we wearing the uniforms that they wore 60 years ago? And well, Adidas didn't want to do that. So I mean, this is Adidas deal. So we'll wear kind of a throwback, I guess, mid '80s, late '80s uniform, which is fine. Which means absolutely, players like putting on a new uniform, but it's not that big a deal. But having game day here and playing Texas and knowing what's potentially at stake, I think everybody should be pretty excited.
If Adidas wanted to do a throwback to the short shorts era, would you protest and keep that from happening?
Yeah. Well, I actually have stepped in and not done some of the things that Adidas have wanted to do. But yeah, I don't think that the real the 1970s short look would be something that will come back into style at any point in time. I think if you had those shorts and you got rid of them, you won't be wishing you kept them. Moving forward, because I don't think they're going to come back into play.
Hey, Coach, got an email also in your postseason uniform yesterday or this morning.
I didn't get that one.
How much thought went into that, or do you guys do a lot of thinking of what you're going to wear in the postseason?
Yeah, we think about it all. I think about it, lay awake at night thinking about that stuff a lot. What happens is, and this is the same way it is with the shoe companies. They got to get one step up on the other one because Nike will do something with their schools, and I'm sure Under Armour will do something with their schools that they have. Well, Adidas, every school that wears Adidas that plays in the postseason will have a different look. And if you followed us in the past, we've worn it for one game. And then we put them away and because I haven't liked them, and we put it away and we wear what we normally wear. We'll wear. Well, if we like them, we may continue to wear them. I mean, I don't know, but I haven't. You know, there's a lot of reasons why people do what they do, and you know, if you stop and look at it, you know, there's been some pretty cool uniforms that we won one game. We wore one game that looked pretty cool. Well, that was for a special reason that the shoe company comes up with, which they do for other schools too, and then they get an opportunity to sell them in the bookstore, you know too. So people are smart about that. It's a merchandising marketing deal, but I really don't remember what our postseason uniforms looked like because we picked them out last year, probably before the season was over. For like we'll pick out next year's postseason uniforms probably by the end of the month, this month, or something like that. So I don't remember what they look like, but we will wear them. Okay, how many times we wear them, I don't know yet though.
This league is real good at has a bunch of guards who are good at getting to the paint. It seems like how key is it to keep Taylor out?
Oh, it's a big key. You know what did he have down there the first time, like 23 or something, and. You know, you stop and think about our league. If there's a position that's dominant in our league, without question, it's the point guard position. Without question. I mean, you got obviously Frank. You got Monty Morris, who's got All-American type talk around him. You've got Jawan Staten, the preseason player of the year. Obviously, you have Kenny Cherry that's been a Jayhawk killer and played very, very well. And then, of course, Isaiah Taylor when he's on, and he can get in the paint as well as anybody in the country. And the two guards from the Oklahoma schools, Woodard and Oklahoma State, Hickey. You know, they both had great seasons. I mean, this is a guard. Kyan Anderson's a terrific guard. I mean, this is a point guard league right now, and certainly the Taylor and Staten, the two we play next, are the two probably best guards at getting inside of you and forcing help. And so we got to do a great job with ball screen defense, keeping Isaiah out of the paint because he's really hurt us every time he's touched it off the bounce.
How do you do a good job of ball screen defense? Just focusing, or?
Well, they do different things. Well, it's not just that because you know if you down screen a big into a ball screen, that creates separation. So now with separation, now when a guy comes off with the head of Steve, even if you force him into the ball screen, now the big isn't in a position to be a really helper on the screen. He's in a position to be a helper after he comes off the screen. So now you're asking a big to guard a guard one-on-one. You know, those are the kind of things that you can do with ball screens that can create problems where if you really want to hedge them hard, well, it's hard to hedge them hard if they back screen into a ball screen because you got to back up to help on the back screen, and then by the time the ball screen's set, it's hard to be a hard hedge, so now that becomes a flat hedge. So there's just different things that people do to try to keep you from defending the ball screen the way you want to do it, and Texas is really clever and does a really good job with that.
Is that a key to the league being so good this year? Is because it's a point guard driven league?
You know what? They say guards win. You know, I'd say there's less number of big guys in our league maybe than what there has been in years past. You stop and think about the Simeons or the LaMarcus Aldridges or the Durants and all the big guys Baylor's had, and the Michael Beasleys and the Blake Griffins and there's been so many really, really, really talented. Of course, Joel goes in that mix, and Cole and Marcus Marquis. You got so many talented bigs that. This year when you stop and think about it, the dominant players in our league for the most part have been guards. Whether it's Buddy or whether it's whoever it's been, or undersized bigs, whether it be Perry or George or whatnot. So I would say that's probably a strong reason why the league's been good, because without the good guard play, I'm not sure that our bigs would be the type of bigs that would carry a league nationally. There's no Okafor, something like that. But there's so many good guards, we haven't missed that because everybody's got a guard that can really, really play. And several teams have multiple guards. I don't know if that made any sense at all.
You mentioned Durant. What do you remember about the couple of games you guys had to play against him?
I think he had like 25 or 26 at our place in the first half. And, Danny, who was a good player here, Danny, what do you think? He said, that's the baddest man that's ever played on this floor. And that's what Danny said. And Danny was pretty good. And Wilt wasn't bad either. And then we played them in the Kansas City, and they had us down 32-10 with 8 minutes left in the first half, and Durant had 22 of them. So Durant had us down 22-10 himself. So, yeah, he was amazing. And, we've had some unbelievable performances against us. And none better than obviously him, but even Beasley, we boxed and won him the whole game, and he got 39. So there's been some really good bigs come through here, but Texas, with Kevin, with LaMarcus, I mean, there's been some Tristan Thompson. I mean, there's been some great players, and Texas, they got unlucky when they had that great run of players there a couple of years ago, because I'm sure they knew that they could leave, but all of them left. After 1 year, and I'm not sure that their staff would think, well, these guys will be a one and done type guys. These guys will probably be two and done guys, but they've recovered nicely because they've got Ridley and Turner and those guys. I mean, they can really play.
Are you surprised by their conference record this year?
Probably, yeah. But I mean, there's so many close games in our league and games that can go either way. I don't know that I don't know that you can really be surprised or shocked by anything that happens in our league because Texas goes to West Virginia, their last game. Hey, they play terrific. I mean, they get behind early just like we did at West Virginia, and they came back and they had a chance late, down 2 possessions in the last minute, and West Virginia's playing very well right now, obviously. So, they're playing well, and they'll be a very hungry team playing us for high stakes on Saturday.
Back to Jarvis, was he happy to get back with the guys and everything?
Yeah. We haven't made a big deal about that, but but he's, of course he's happy to be back at work, without question.
Anything else?
What did the tape show of the last 10 minutes on offense?
Well, I think it showed that we panicked is not the right word, but we certainly didn't play with poise down the stretch offensively, and defensively we didn't get stops, and they made every play. But sometimes your offense looks worse than it is when you don't make shots, which it probably looked worse than it was. And sometimes it looks better than what it is just because you make shots. But the last 10 minutes, it was combination, poor ball and body movement. Their pressure bothered us, and then of course, we got to play through our 2 best players in late game situations, and Frank wasn't a factor, and they were able to negate Perry for the most part down the stretch. So certainly we got to improve on. But if 1 or 2 shots go down, it looks totally different. But they defended us very well.
All right, members, thank you.
Thanks, guys.